Hey y'all, I'm back as Nomadic Shaman. One thing I forgot to mention, I can't believe I forgot it, but as it relates to the jumper demon, they did some type of ritual to whereas, remember when I said, for those who are coming in, there was a point where the main person part of the coven, the central hub, okay, where there's a connecting thread to everybody, she physically she physically married my twin flame. Granted, he had a lot of karma that he had to clear out, but she ended up marrying him. He was low vibrational. They match each other's wounds at the time. But she married him physically, right? The one who was also responsible for his death. She married him physically, meaning setup queen, right? Anyways, she married him physically, but the jumper demon that had taken her body when it came to certain ritualistic stuff had married me spiritually, okay, to gain the benefits of what comes with marrying me spiritually. Okay. So that's that also ties into why I experienced what is it? That also ties into why I experienced a lot of the astral a lot of the astral rape attacks. Okay. And even in my dream state. Okay, because it wasn't just the coven who was part of it. It also was the jumper demon that they had utilized when it came to ritualistic, purposes or means. And so your girl had to figure out what to do in order to cancel, abort, and divorce that. Spiritually divorce that demon. Okay, so that was something else that I had learned in this whole process when it comes to that. One of the things that would utilize that demon was to intercept downloads, thoughts, and dreams. So your girl had to figure out how to put a stop to that. These are some of the things that I learned within my while me experiencing spiritual warfare. Okay. Spirit also had highlighted that the coven and the Luciferian sex cult, they would do things like abort children with the purpose of sacrificing them for manifestations, okay? Also to ingest their blood, because you ingesting your blood, it shifts and changes your DNA. Okay, so they were trying to get some type of power from doing that. And then Spirit was also telling me, also sacrifice. Okay. So they would get some type of power through drinking blood, and also by way of sacrifice. This is some of the crazy ass shit. Like I literally thought like this, before I hit my spiritual awakening, I literally thought that this shit only existed in movies. But truth is stranger than fiction. This is what I have come to learn. Okay. What are some of the other things? You know what? And also, one other thing that I wanted to share is while I was in Florida, they were even stealing your girl's trash. When I was at my people's house, they would steal their trash to see what I threw away to use, to see what they can use spell work against me for. Okay. Now, I've already shared with you how they took the money. They took whatever money that the money that they took that they used to exploit me. And I already said, let's count the ways. It wasn't just me, it was other individuals, right? But and in cleaning that, once it was clean, they'd use it to buy cars, they would use it to buy houses, they would use it to create businesses. I was told by spirit that death certificates were created in order for them to get life insurance. Okay. One thing I do want to share with y'all, in the courts, specifically Philadelphia courts, I'm being told the courthouse, the judge that rules over the house, specifically the house, determining who the house that was left within the will, trust, and testament, the judge presiding over that case and making the judgment. You have a mole. She is a clerk, a county clerk, okay? She runs back and tells that. She also assists with the communications that go out in delaying them or not sending them out. It's either not sending them out or delaying them, okay? But it's a blockage. She's not a supervisor. She holds the position of a clerk based in Philadelphia. Spirit, which streets? Which court? Give me a name. Give me a name. Give me a name. I'm asking for the name for the courthouse, y'all. Okay, so this courthouse is on Chestnut. Y'all go, you know what? Let me look at this. I'm gonna look it up and I'm come back and I'm gonna run and tell that. How about that? Okay. I know I said I wouldn't give out government names, but I'm gonna describe her as. I'm gonna describe her to a T, so you all know who to look out for. Okay. That's what I got. County clerk and courthouse. She's not a supervisor. She could be a family member, a cousin, or regarded as a cousin. Okay. Anyways, these people. Okay. So we've already established there's been defamation, right? The things that this organization, the whole Gangstalking organization, is a part of, is affiliated. Another component, many components that is part of this organized crime. They have a pedo ring, okay? They engage in all types of trafficking. So not only drug trafficking, there's sex trafficking, there's organ trafficking, there's children, there's labor trafficking. Okay, they also partake in snuff films and sell them on the dark web. These are different ways that these people make money. Okay. These people also, let me say something real quick. This is kind of like off topic, on topic, but y'all, this woman The main woman, part of the coven, one of the baby mamas, she would use her children to astral project. Now, y'all got to watch out with that, because there are ancestors, not just mine, where they look at a violation being a violation. So they don't look at children are innocent. They look at the soul. They're like, how old is this soul? Okay? Before they go on attack or beast mode. So I say that for those who want to do some reckless shit to use their children or their pets to astral project, so basically bogard someone's boundaries, either because your gifts have been stripped, okay, or you're not trying to get your ass tapped, so you're sending in your child as bait, thinking that spirits is not going to mess with that because it's a child. Y'all are sadly mistaken, because there are protectors, guardians, ancestors on the other side that will go to great lengths to protect theirs, especially if they're on a mission. And if you're one, if they're on a mission, two, if they've been crowned to lead their bloodline, meaning to break generational curses, they're not looking at how old that child is by earth years. They're looking at the soul. Okay? And some ancestors don't give a fuck. Especially if there's been too many violations. This is truth. Some ancestors and guardians don't give a fuck. If you are trespassing and you are bogarting someone's boundaries and you have violated time and time and time again, some of these ancestors and guardians will attack in a way where when your child comes back, if they come back, they will not be the same. If you did not know this, now you know. And this is not just, I'm not just speaking about me, I'm speaking across the board. When you're messing with chosen ones, elect ones, divine ones, who have not wronged you in any type of way, and you consistently trespass, invade, and intrude, and just try to, an attempt to break down their boundaries by way of astral projecting, and then on top of that, you want to use your pets, you want to use your children, you're doing it at your own risk. Because, as I said before, not all guardians, and some people, some spiritualists, I'm not speaking about me, I'm just general, some spiritualists have demons as guardians. Not all guardians, not all ancestors, the minute they see somebody trespass, they're going in attack mode. Please know this. Okay. So I've already shared part of the Gangstalking campaign. They do wire transfers. They do money laundering, okay? I've already shared they're into Bitcoin and attempts to cleanse and clean the money. Okay, different ways of how they get money, pedo rings, all types of trafficking, snuff films. Um, they also incorporate, which is what happened to me. They also pay individuals who are employed by power companies, power supply companies, as well as water supply companies. This is where the tampering of the water, the poisoning of the water goes into effect. This is where the electricity with the electric sockets, which could potentially cause a fire hazard, come into effect. This has happened to me. Okay, over the course between 2020, what was it? Between 2021, 2020, up until this point. Okay, they've also had, like I said beforehand, law enforcement who I thought were looking out for me, and Spirit is saying there were a couple who were looking. There were a couple, more than I know, as Spirit is saying, that there were that were watching me in order to protect me. In other words, they were following me in order to protect me. But there were many that were being paid as on the Gangstalking campaign payroll. Okay. These Gangstalking campaign is part of their business. They own insurance firms, which is why it makes it that much more easier for insurance fraud. They also oversee funeral homes. Okay. What else? Cemeteries. Okay. They got all that. They got all their bases covered as it relates to that. Okay. They have coroners, medical examiners on payroll, either to look the other way or make something believable. Okay. They would also, what's the other part that I want to share? They would also fuck up with the power lines, okay, to keep the trail off of them. When cops got too hot that were on the good side, FBI that were on the good side, okay, at least in my area, they would fuck up with the they would fuck with the power lines, so that to make it look like they weren't in my area when they were. Okay, committing all different types of crimes. All right. They would also take advantage of business grants, and I've said this before. They have members, part of the CIA, NSA, FBI, law enforcement, who are part of the gang stalking campaigns. Okay. Paid to look the other way. Paid for favors. Okay. So, where am I at? I'm at 19 minutes. I think I'm going to stop right here. And then I'll see you on the other side, y'all. Until then.